Hello, everybody. It's time for the week 9 announcements and assignments video. I'm going to briefly go over what we have happening this week so you're all aware of what's going on in the astronomy class world. All right, so lots of announcements to get through this week. We're in the final 6 weeks of the semester. Hard to believe that there's only 6 weeks left, which means that we're in a little bit of the slow, steady marathon all the way to the end. We have things happening every week, so be sure that you always tune into these videos so you're aware of what's going on. First thing is, and many of you have already started this and completed it, quiz 3 is this week. So please make sure that if you're watching this video today on Monday, that you complete this by 9 p.m. On Tuesday, tomorrow, I'm going to release our discussion on the most difficult topics of the quiz. And then that way we can all work towards getting you to taking the second attempt and getting you to getting the grade that you want and you deserve through all the hard efforts and learning that you're going to do between the attempts. So quiz 3 is this week. First attempt is today. Second attempt is on Thursday. Quiz 4 is next week. We have sort of something happening every week, and quiz 4 is next week. So the first attempt is going to be next Monday. And what will quiz 4 cover? Is going to cover Unit 1, Part 5. That's the telescopes part, a little bit of a short part. We covered it all in 1 week. And then it's going to cover the start of Unit 2, Part 1. Unit 2, Part 1 is the sun. And on the quiz, even though we will have covered all of the sun this week, on the quiz, I'm only going to have you be responsible up through the sun's interior. That way you only have to digest a little bit of the material rather than cover two whole entire parts of the class on a single quiz. The hints are already available to you on Canvas, so be sure to check those out to help you prepare for next week's quiz. And then the next big one is exam 2. That's 2 weeks away. So that's going to put us at week 11. And I wish I could give us a little bit of a buffer week, but there is just no time in the schedule. Something about is the problem of a condensed schedule that we have this fall is that we are now going to have to do something every week. I will be releasing the exam 2 must knows, the study guide, next Monday. I might even be able to get it out a little bit earlier if I can. And the exam 2 is going to be a little bit of a lighter exam than exam 1, but the topics are a little bit heavier. It's going to cover Unit 1, Parts 4 and 5, that's light and telescopes. And then it's going to cover Unit 2, but only Part 1, the sun. So only 3 parts will be on exam 2. Hopefully the smaller amount of breadth will make it so it's a little bit more of an approachable exam, especially since we have some of the more intensive math things like the thermal radiation laws that are going to be on there. That will leave everything else that we covered this semester to be on exam 3, which will be the last week that I can possibly give you an exam. All right. I also want you to be aware that there are 2 extra credit opportunities that are currently available. The 2 that are available, you can do each one twice, and each one that you do is worth plus 1.5 percentage points added to your final grade in this class. I put a cap at a total of plus 5% that you can earn. So using these 2 extra credit opportunities, you can get the full extra credit that I will offer for this class just by these opportunities alone. That's half a letter grade added to your final average. Notice that that plus 5% is also equal to the percentage of the final exam. So if you want to skip the final exam, do all the possible extra credit, and essentially that will count as a 100% that you earned on the final. I'm still working on creating additional shorter plus 1% opportunities. I need to find some free videos online and develop some materials so you can go through and do smaller extra credit assignments that are a little bit less intense and therefore only worth plus 1% instead of plus 1.5%. And yes, I gave that survey about what kind of modality I'll be teaching in the spring. Thank you so much for all of your thoughtful replies. It was very, very elucidating and very, very helpful for me to go through all of that. Based on my own personal preferences and the research that I've done and the way that I've set up this class, this seems to be working quite well this semester. I have decided that my spring classes will be asynchronous. So if you're going to be taking the other astronomy class, realize there will be a similar, maybe not exactly the same, I do want to improve upon it, format as we have this semester. That seemed to be the majority preference of all the students as well, even though synchronous put up a good fight. If I get rid of the non-preferences, it was about a 60-40 split preference towards asynchronous. And I'm guessing that might be because of the way I've set up this class. But thank you all for the valuable feedback for that. And just in general, it has already made some changes that are happening in this class. And it will definitely help me in my spring classes. Thank you. And also, one of the things that came up is a lot of people really wanted some of the synchronous stuff because they wanted a little bit more personal time with the instructor. And it started to dawn on me because most of the time I have office hours and it's just me with my Skype on and nobody shows up. So it made me think maybe people aren't aware that I have office hours or they know what office hours are. So I hold office hours 2 times per week for this class, which means that there'll be an hour where I'm just sitting on a Zoom session and you can come and talk to me one on one. I know it might seem a little bit intimidating to talk to your professor one on one. I promise you, I'll be as approachable as possible. I think you're convinced that I'm a pretty approachable person by now. And you can come in, ask me for help on the homework. We can go over homework questions. We can go over concepts. You can just check in to let me know how you're doing. Tell me what you think about this class, things like that. It is an open time for you to interact with me. And there are 2 opportunities per week to do this. I'm also available by appointment. I know it's not quite the same as, hey, we all have a time where we can all get together and discuss things. That's what a synchronous class offers. But as this is listed as an asynchronous class, there are no scheduled times, and trying to get 220 people that all have a free time in common with one another is just not going to happen. So do make sure that you make use of the office hours if you want to talk to me personally. Uh, I have a waiting room, so they will be one on one. I may change it so that one of the 2 office hours is just sort of general open where anybody can come in and we can have group discussions. I need to figure out how that would work though, because sometimes I might be talking to somebody about homework and you can't just have a bunch of people barge in a homework session like that. So give me some time to think about how I might do group sessions. I might be sign up for groups or something like that in the future. Okay, week 9 assignments. So the week 9 engagement exercise is going to be due this Sunday. No surprises there. This Wednesday, we have homework 6, the telescope homework that's due. It's been available to you for over a week now. Many of you have already started it, and it looks like many of you have completed it with a perfect score. So nice work on that. So please be aware that this Wednesday, the 14th of October at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, we have homework 6 due. And what's on the horizon? Homework 7, that's unit 2, part 1, not parts 1, on the sun will be due next Wednesday, and it is available to you on Canvas already. And I'll be covering the entirety of the material this week in the lecture videos. But as always, you should be going through the notes on your own. They are the core material, and I've designed it so you can be successful in this class from the notes alone. The videos are supplemental to really dive into some of the concepts on a deeper level and give you a live presentation of the material. All right, thanks for tuning in to this week's announcements and assignments. I will see you in the lecture videos.